Everyone, this is Theodore from Ocean Giants. It's really good to have you here today. Before we get started, I just want to welcome any subscribers and thank you all for your support. And I apologize in advance if you hear any ruffling in the music or the video. It's because of the wind. I have nowhere else to set up. This is kind of the only setup I got right now because everywhere else is hectic and loud. So I apologize in advance. A man's got to do what a man's got to do. But if you do hear it, I apologize. Let's get back on track here. Today we're going to be taking a look at a much smaller ship, but one with a story that's a lot bigger than it might seem at first. Because this is not a ship that crossed the Atlantic on its own. It wasn't designed to carry passengers from one continent to another. But despite that, it played a role in one of the most famous voyages in history. And that's what makes it interesting. This is the story of the SS Nomadic. Now, before we go any further, it's worth taking a moment to understand what this ship actually was. The Nomadic was a tender. And what that means is that it carried passengers from the dock out to much larger ships anchored out offshore. Again, I'm not going to edit the stuttering because people make mistakes, and I'm going to leave it in just to prove you guys people do make mistakes. Because at certain ports, those massive ocean liners couldn't come close enough to dock directly. So ships like the Nomadic were used to bring people out to them. And this might seem like a small job, but it really wasn't. Because this role placed the Nomadic right in the middle of something much bigger. It became part of the experience. To many passengers, this was the first step of their journey. The moment where everything began. And this is where things really get interesting. Because this SS Nomadic was built for the White Star Line. And it was designed to serve their newest and most advanced liners, including the RMS Titanic. In 1912, when passengers boarded the Titanic at Cherbourg, they didn't step onto it from the dock. Instead, many of them were carried out by the Nomadic. And for a short time, these two ships were connected. And that connection is still remembered today. And because of that role it played, the Nomadic wasn't just a simple transport vessel. It was built to match the quality of the ships it served. Constructed by Harland and Wolff, the same shipyard that built the RMS Titanic, it even shared design features with those much larger liners. Which meant that even though it was smaller, it still had carried a sense of luxury. Passengers stepping aboard wouldn't have felt like they were on a simple ferry. For many of them, this was the beginning of something important. The first step toward crossing the Atlantic. And in that moment, the journey had already begun. And this is what makes the story more interesting. Because while the Nomadic was part of that world, it would outlast many of the ships it served, including the RMS Titanic. But at that time, none of that was known yet. For now, the name Nomadic was simply just doing its job, carrying passengers back and forth between the shore and ships waiting off the shore. So basically, transporting passengers from the docks over from the ships waiting out shore anchored away. That's what it was doing. That's its job. But very soon, it would become part of one of the most well-known events in maritime history. And in the next part, we're going to take a closer look at that moment and the role the Nomadic played in it. Thanks for watching. This is Theodore from Ocean Giants. I'll see you soon because there's always another story waiting out at sea. Special thanks to my dear friend Diddle Destiny on Discord for the idea for today's video. I couldn't have done it without your help, my friend.